going on, guys? NoleJP here. How's everyone's day been so far? Wow, so yeah, it's been a few weeks since I've done anything on YouTube. April is always one of the busiest months at my real world job, so I had that going on. I traveled a bit, and most of all, I just needed a break from the day-to-day to have some fun. But I'm back recharged, ready to have some more fun, making some more great videos for you guys. What I would tell you is that when you take some time off and get away from COD, things usually change, and I came back to some new guns, maps, stuff from the supply drops, and the most intriguing thing was what this video today is based on, the new Scorestreak Variants. Before we get started, if you guys are not already on board with me, hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate the support as always. In the background is a gameplay of the new DLC map Scrap, which I like a lot. I know a lot of people aren't playing Infinite Warfare this season, but I have not had a bad thing to say about the DLC maps we've been given so far. 8 out of 8 in my opinion are good ones. But we'll talk more about the maps another time in another video. If the gameplay runs along, I might splice in another gameplay at the end. So let's get into today's video, which is a good look at the Scorestreak variants and which ones I think are the best choices and or most effective. You'll be surprised it's not always the epic one that I choose. So we'll go through this based on alphabetical order, just in case you guys want to review something at some future point. I'll make it nice and easy for you guys to find the streak that you want. Just some of the basics. If you've been out of the loop, go into the Quartermaster and go into the Scorestreak icon. Each Scorestreak has a rare, legendary, epic variant theme that offers various strengths and weaknesses and takes salvage to craft each successive level. You can't buy the epic outright, you do have to buy the rare, then the legendary, then up to the epic level. Rare costs 150 salvage, legendary goes for 300, and epics take 450. If you want all three levels, do the math, 900 salvage is the cost to your wallet. The good news, like I said though, is that 450 salvage epics are not all worth it. So it might not be as big of an expense to you as you might think. Remember guys, I do a lot of testing before I put videos out to make sure I'm giving you guys quality info, and I tested each level of the Scorestreak set. So let's get right into it. We'll take a look at what each one does and my pick for the best streak to use. So first up, we're going to hop right in with the most expensive Scorestreak point-wise at 1550, which is the AP3X. This is not a Scorestreak I use often as I try to go for nukes. But if you're a fan of this beast, some of these variants will be a tasty choice for you, especially since each variant costs exactly the same as what the common does at 1550. First up, we have the rare variant, which is Husk, which gives a higher resistance against explosive weapons, but a lower active lifetime. With the legendary, we get Lockdown that has missiles automatically seeking out visible targets, but comes with a longer reload time. And with the epic level, we get Reactor, which equips the AP3X with a pair of high-damaging laser turrets. As if a flying dual machine gun wasn't strong enough, they're now giving it lasers. In my opinion, take the epic level with the Reactor for the AP3X. You're getting it for the same price as the common, and you get to fire the lasers, as Dr. Evil and Austin Powers would say. That was a pretty bad impression, so I definitely apologize. Moving on to the Advanced UAV, which is my favorite streak in the game. With the rare, we have the Gecko, which stays active for a longer period of time but has a lower health, which is definitely okay. Legendary is the Shroud, which gets more powerful as the Advanced UAV is hidden through the use of reflective camo but has lower movement speed. This basically lets it act like a quicker normal UAV. But then you also have the Mac Daddy of them all, which is the epic level Overseer, which makes enemy markers always visible and updated in real time, but for a shorter duration. If you're a fan of the Orbital VSAT or hater from Black Ops 3, this is the one for you. The best thing about this is that it still costs 1250 just like the common level, which blows my mind considering it's probably the most OP streak you can get in the game in my opinion. I crafted up to it right away, such a huge advantage type streak when you're going for nukes. Next streak up is the Bombardment, which you get at 850 score level, and I will tell you guys they made the Bombardment super fun and super effective. With the rare, we have Flare. Explosive payloads arrive quicker but at a smaller capacity. This is a big upgrade from the common level as it does take a while for the common strike to arrive. Legendary level gives us the Tempest, in which you are able to make an extra selection on the target map at a higher score streak cost at 925, which is up from the 850 normal. That's just one extra kill, so it's not that big of a deal. And with the epic level and back to 825 score, we get Doomsday, which automatically locks onto and fires a single payload at each enemy position. My choice is actually the Tempest in the legendary category. If you need to help your team and clear out an area, you have a better chance with a normal bombardment than trying to fire a single rocket. Our fourth streak is the counter UAV, at the 600 level and another one of my daily use score streaks. The Roach is the rare level, which stays active for a longer period of time but has lower health. Eclipse is the legendary that gives the counter UAV lower lifetime and shuts down the enemy's HUD. And finally, we get the Nova on the epic level that says on entry, all enemy equipment and score streaks are destroyed, but cost is increased. Remember, the common counter UAV is 600, and the epic costs a whopping 1150. It's a huge bump, but it's also very powerful, so it's kind of justified. My pick for the counter UAV is the legendary Eclipse, and I use it based on its normal score value. You still get your assist points, and I just think it's very easily obtainable. It would also absolutely frustrate the hell out of the other team to constantly have their HUD shut down multiple times during the game. It just makes me laugh thinking about the other team running around with nothing but a game screen and no info to use. That's a huge advantage if you're running the Eclipse. The drone package is up next at 550 points for the common. Rare level we get Fuse, which is a fake low-cost care package filled with explosive. Guys, just ignore this one. No one's falling for it anymore. Everybody's seen it, but you do get it for a reduced 350 points if you really wanted to give it a shot. Back at 550 score, we get the legendary Double Take, which is your classic take on a reroll from past CODs, but with a lower odds of a higher tier score streak. And finally, at the epic level, at a monster 1200 score level, we get Vault, which only contains higher score streaks. I used it one time and got the AP3X, but it was a common, so not sure if you can get variants out of this Vault, but you guys might find out when you're playing with it. Easy choice on this one. Go with the legendary Double Take. It's a 2-for-1 scenario at a low cost, so you can earn it multiple times per game. The RC8 at 1450 is up next, and all levels cost the same. Rare level we get Hellion, which is fitting for its hellish character and gives it increased movement speed with lower active life. Makes me think of the GI unit from Black Ops 3, which makes this a faster moving robot. Legendary level gives us Pinwheel, which replaces the main weapon with fast-firing energy machine guns, and Epic gives us Meteor, which now allows your beast machine to have some vertical movement. I'm actually taking the rare Hellion because RC8 is slow by itself, but speeded up with its normal armor and life, and you've got a scary good bot. Another fun streak, and one of the more frequent used, is the Scarab at 450 points, and all levels at 450 points for the variants, so the choice is yours. Rare level we get Frostbite with increased frost duration but lower active life. Torque is the legendary level with increased movement speed but heavier chassis, reducing verticality. And the epic level is Spectre, which makes the Scarab hidden through use of reflective camo but has lower movement speed. This is a no-brainer. I'm going with the epic Spectre because if you're hidden, your advantage is naturally greater. Get your headset volume up if you're one of the enemy teams and this thing is out and about. At least it moves slow to give you some time to search it out and destroy it. Scorcher's up next at 800 base level. Rare we get the crossbow, which has the planes fly in a single line, striking the same path. Not the most effective thing in my opinion, so try to skip that one. Legendary level we get the Pulsar, which lets planes fly faster, but does cost a scotch more at 875 to get. And then the epic level we get Hydra, where you can manually choose the strike paths for each plane, back at 800 points. Easy choice, Hydra all the way. You can basically cover the entire map with 3 strikes, and it is so much fun to use. It makes that boring common Scorchers now fun to use, so definitely 2 thumbs up on this one improvement. Next up we have the Shock Sentry at 900, and all levels are at 900, so another pick your poison. Rare level we get the Squirrel, which is a great name, that acquires targets faster but lower health. Stay away from this option as it costs 900, and the lower health option really doesn't justify it. The legendary gives us the Sam, which fires missiles at aerial targets, but charge rounds no longer shock nearby enemies. I've seen this used already a few times, and it's a really good option and takes you back to the original Black Ops day with the Sam turrets that many of you guys used. Finally, the epic level, we get the Catacomb, which slows the turret's fire rate and shoots multiple tracking missiles at the targets. This is pretty fun, but with enemies ducking into hallways and cover, it's hit or miss. My pick is the legendary Sam to keep the air clear. It just takes me back to the old day Black Ops and, you know, nostalgia. What can you say? The Thor is up next at 1300, and all variants are also at 1300. Rare level we get Fortress, which gives Thor a higher resistance against explosive weapons but lower active lifetime. Legendary level, we get Nimbus, that you can switch flight path by hitting the L1, and the epic level gives you Thunderclap, which tracking clusters are no longer player controlled and will freely seek out targets in view. I'm pretty torn with my Thor choice, and I'm going to have to go outside the box and put the legendary and epic on an equal level. Legendary definitely has the advantage of switching directions, which can really mess up the enemies who are trying to track its movement. Trinity rockets at 750 are next on the list, and the levels again are all at 750. Fissure is your rare variant that fires a single payload with a large explosion that ripples outwards. Legendary Abyss starts to implode on impact, sucking in nearby enemies before exploding. And Epic gives you continuously firing a series of non-tracking missiles per launch. Without a doubt, my choice is the Legendary Abyss. It's a tool that gives you a black hole projector and then explodes. This is great for games of domination or an area that you're trying to control. If you can clear out a spot and produce some damage on the explosion, it's amazing. If you use it right, very effective for the cost. So we're on the home stretch here, guys. Just a couple more. The UAV is up next, another one of my favorites. At 500 base level, we get the Pack Rat for the rare, which stays active for a longer period of time, but has lower health. Perfectly great option. Effective, but if the other team is shooting things down fast, it's going to be a rough go at it. On the flip-flop, we get the Carapace, I think is how you pronounce it, for the legendary level, for higher resistance against explosive weapons, but has a lower active lifetime. And finally, Kickback for the Epic, which gives you increased assist points, but a higher cost of 625. No-brainer here for my choice. The Epic Kickback is the one you got to go with. One extra kill gives you more assist points to build up to a higher streak, or keep a set of lower streaks on a quicker cycle. No-brainer about it. Definitely choose the Kickback. Second to last, we have the Vulture at 700 score on all levels. Rare, we get the Kamikaze, which carries lower health, but with the ability to seek out and explode on nearby targets when reaching critical health levels. For the 700 points it takes, I'm so-so on this one. Useful, but expensive if it gets lower health. Or gets to lower health quickly, I should say. Legendary level gives you Ambush, which basically turns the Vulture into a flying sentry gun to guard a specified location. As I'm making this video, I think I actually forgot to try this one out, but hopefully you can just pick a spot on the map, the Vulture goes there, or you can hit a button when you're in that part of the map to turn it into a sentry. And with the epic level, we get Dragonfly, which is a slow-moving and patrols the area looking for targets instead of following its owner. Since you're not needing any more points to get this epic Dragonfly and to have it like a sentry-like option, this is definitely my pick. And finally, we have the Warden at 1100. Rare level gives us Watchdog, which gives your Warden an extra flare to deter lock-on missiles, but lower active lifetime. Still a good option if you don't want to craft higher. Legendary level is a Goliath, which gives the rear turret bullets, that was a tough one to say, to fire. However, both turrets fire at a slower pace. And finally, we have the granddaddy of them all, which is the Epic Showtime, that delivers 3 care packages with a reduced chance of high tier streaks, but cost is increased to a mammoth 1700 score, making the Goliath the most expensive option in the game. Honestly, I see no value in the Epic option, as there are no guarantee your team will be in place to protect you while you collect all these packages. Not to mention, 1700 is a stupid high cost to obtain, and most people can't do it without going on a serious streak. I'm actually a fan of the rare Watchdog for the Warden, just to give it a more chance of staying alive instead of being shot down. So there you go, guys. That's the run-through of the Scorestreak variants we've been granted access to. I'm super happy they made the choice to allow crafting instead of getting them out of care packages, as most people would never see a lot of these. There's a lot of ways to earn salvage in this game, so hopefully this run-through will give you guys an idea of what's out there and what options you might want to craft for. My only hope is that they start making salvage more available in supply drops to give everyone a chance to make some of these streaks happen, for your own gameplays. I'm very curious to hear what you guys have used so far in your games, as there's so many different options out there. Tell me in the comment section below what your go-to setup is. I'm sure everyone was skeptical about variants, especially coming off of the travesty we saw in Advanced Warfare with variants, but I think Infinity Ward nailed it with a very balanced pro-con setup. Props to them, and all in all, I think they've done a really good job with the game. Many may not think so, but I'm having fun with the game, and I'm sure many other people are as well if you're watching this video. So with that, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video today, and the gameplay in the background will be wrapping up soon. I plan to get back to my more regular video schedule, and I have some great gameplays for you guys on the new DLC maps that I've picked up, as well as my always popular nukes. So hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed the video. Follow on board with me. Keep checking back on your YouTube feeds, and I will catch you guys on my next video.
Assist your team at B. You're needed at Bravo.